had some awesome experiences to travel to Japan, America, New Zealand, Hawaii with your training and competing. What's that been like for you now? Looking back on it, the experiences you've gained from all of this persistence in what is a tough sport to be at the top.
Yeah, it is, mate. I've been very lucky to travel to some amazing places, some with surf lifesaving and some without. I think what's getting quite exciting now is the travel to the likes of Hawaii. I'm very fortunate enough to have an amazing partner in Shore and Partners that takes a group of us to go and race the Molokai to Oahu Challenge on the surf ski every year. It's that sport's growing as much as we paddle surf ski in our Ironman racing. It's like the surf ski racing on its own is new to me. It's a lot longer. The paddlers are kayakers and Olympic kayakers and the best in the world paddlers. So for me to throw my hat in the ring there and learn from guys like that, but able to be able to travel to Hawaii, or I did a race in the Hood River in the US or Western Australia, and my sport and I guess the sponsors and the community within that sport has allowed me to travel to such amazing places. And look, to be honest, I would not be able to do any of it without the support of my wife. And she's my biggest advocate. She's my biggest fan, whether I'm winning or if I'm losing. She's the one that has to deal with the emotional roller coaster of sport and an athlete. And she asks me, "Are you almost done with this?" Because it's quite tiring. And I said, depending on the year and the result, I say yes or no. And she hangs in there, and she, the one thing I've said to her is that when I hang it up, I'll hang it up for good. I won't be one of those guys that hangs it up and then comes back and changes his mind. But sport's a huge part of my DNA. It's what I know, and it makes me feel good mentally, and it keeps me a happy person. And if I'm a happy person, I feel like I'm a better father and a better husband. So and that's what activity and mornings and movement and exercise does for me.
Well, yeah, all props to you, mate. You've been able to build a career and lifestyle around the water, which is what you love doing, and it's great to hear that you've enjoyed the whole experience as well as competing and traveling, and obviously having the support of your family and friends. Before we wrap things up, mate, we just want to have a chat a bit about what's ahead for you. So I know you've been busy up in the Gold Coast recently, and you've been competing. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's ahead for you in the next year?
Yeah, so mate, in 2 weeks we head to Western Australia for the Australian titles, surf lifesaving titles. Off the back of that, I'll probably have a couple of weeks off, and then kind of into the surf ski series. We've got a few races up at Foster, and then we go to Hawaii for that Molokai Challenge mid-May, mid to end of May. So look, in the short term, a lot. It's funny, right? It feels like I'm everywhere but nowhere at the same time. There's a lot happening. It's Leo turns 1 in July, so that's a huge milestone for us. There's a lot happening, but I really just try and. My wife's really good at trying to keep me present. That's one thing that I'm not too good at, is being present. I always like to think about what's next and what's coming up, and I got a good result here, but I want to have a good result next time, and instead of living in that moment. So it's I actually watched this really. I sent it to my wife. There was a video of Tom Hanks that popped up on my phone the other day, and he said, they asked him a question about what do you wish you knew when you were younger, right? And he said, man, someone told me this phrase recently. I wish I knew it when I was younger, but it's like, this too shall pass, right? And he said, like, when you're having a tough time and you're down in the dumps and things aren't well and this, blah, 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 I wish someone would have said to me, this too shall pass, right? And then he said, but on the flip side, when things are great, and life's going really well and you're happy and you got good momentum and make a lot of money and this and that, you got to remember this too shall pass, right? So It's all about trying to live within the now. When things are great, really enjoy it, but know that that's not going to last forever, right? And then one that next moment approaches, just try and ride it out and live with it, be patient. And, so I'm trying to I guess, really wrap my head around that at the moment and kind of understand that. And, there's guys like Lockie Bruce, right? Great mate of mine. He's actually one of my coaches now. And, he's got an injury, right, with his foot. He broke a bone and had to get some surgery on it. And, he's got a moon boot and on this little scooter thing. And, for someone like him, and he's just trying to start his own business, which is a huge, so much to happen all at once, and I think I kind of relate that as well. It's like, dude, you feel like you're going through a really tough time. It'll pass, man. And the good times are going to come, and they're not far. Just be patient, stick to the process and chip away.